Hi guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about our family trip, and Grace is napping less, and so she's going to join us for this in her really awesome Eskimo Joe's shirt from the end of our trip. I'm going to talk about a few of the places that we stopped, a few of the places that we stayed, and talk about them as a place to stay, and then on top of that as a place to stay with a baby, and whether or not it's a good idea to take your little one with you. Our first night, we drove from Dallas to Dalhart, Texas, which is pretty close to the Texas-New Mexico border, and we stayed in the Best Western Nurse-a-Nickel there. We stayed in a room with a king-size bed. It had a soaker jacuzzi tub that was new. The whole place was really clean. Had been tastefully and recently updated and redone. It looked great. It was a wonderful stay. The bed was comfortable. The downside to staying there, the town smelled horrible. You could tell that it was a livestock town, that a lot of livestock come through and stay there in stockyards and through in the trailers and stuff. It wasn't a cow patty in the field after a rain, really nice, fresh, pleasant smell, but just an awful, stale, pungent odor. Now, once we got inside the room, there was no smell. It was really nice. The air conditioner worked very well. And the continental breakfast is about what you would expect. They had a little waffle maker. They had bagels, bread that you could do toast with. It was a very basic but very nice breakfast that you got with your room complimentary. The next place I'm going to talk about, we stopped at a variance of gas stations. Number one, if you're in Texas and you get a chance, the two most northern ones are Terrell, Texas, and the Fort Worth one is opening soon, is Buc-ee's. Holy cow. I'm going to do a whole nother video on Buc-ee's because I love that travel stop. It's amazing. It is so clean, so well done. Just if you get a chance to and you're traveling in Texas, stop at Buc-ee's. It's the best place, hands down, to stop on your road trip. So most of the gas stations we stopped at did not offer any sort of changing table. We went through a lot of little podunk areas where the gas station was also a restaurant and a little bit of a grocery store in a lot of places. So keep that in mind. If you're going through more rural areas, you're not going to be as likely to get a lot of the amenities that make traveling with a baby much easier. However, if you're going through an area that has a Love's truck stop, I'm not a huge fan of truck stops. Sometimes they're a little hinky, but I've found that almost any Love's I stop at is clean, even if it's older. A lot of them are newly remodeled. And they have changing tables, nice clean bathrooms, lots of open space. It gives you a nice way to stretch your legs. Yeah, there's a nice, usually a Subway or some kind of restaurant that's reasonably priced. They do a lot of Hardee's or Carl's Jr. depending on where you live. So Love's are definitely a good place to stop if that's an option. The next place that we stopped that I want to talk about was Smashburger in Colorado Springs at the University Village Shopping Center. So it's the first time I've ever eaten a Smashburger, and the food was really good. It was a nice burger, very flavorful, very tasty. The fries were great. The smash seasoning fries were also very good. But I was disappointed. It's a nice, clean restaurant. They have the single room bathrooms where you've got the toilet and everything, but there's no changing table in either the women's or the men's restrooms. Otherwise, if you don't have a kid that needs changing, great place to eat. If you are likely going to have to change your child while you're there, not the place to go. So we continued on up north of Colorado Springs, and we got to Estes Park. We had 7 hours each day, roughly, to get up there. And we stayed at the YMCA in Estes Park, and it was wonderful. First of all, so it's the YMCA of the Rockies, Estes Park, and the land that they are on is absolutely stunning. You are surrounded on 3 sides by the national park. You are surrounded by mountains. You're in this nice little bowl of a valley. The cabins are really, really cute. So you can have a cabin built, and then you are sponsoring the cabin, or you can sponsor a cabin that's already been built so that people can stay there to help maintenance and keep it clean. We stayed in a cute little cabin, which I've already posted the video of the tour of our cabin. So yes, the cabins are a little dated, but they're cabins. If you're wanting top of the line, really fancy stay, this is not for you. If you want to get away from it all, have the opportunity to, if you chose to, go completely free of electronics and really off the grid and just spend time with family, this is great. However, if you also want to have still a connection to the modern world, they have Wi-Fi in each of the cabins. So I was able to upload my YouTube videos throughout the week while we were there, and I was able to try to keep up with social media and things like that. The staff were fantastic. The views, I could not get enough of the view out of the living room window. It was just breathtaking, and the pictures do not do it justice. We definitely picked the right place to stay, and I completely recommend the YMCA of the Rockies at Estes Park. There's 2 YMCAs that are the same format, one on either side. We didn't go to the west side of the Rockies, so I can't speak for that particular one. But this one, the service was wonderful. The cabins were really cute. There's dining hall options, a little souvenir shop. But where we stayed for 3 nights, it was $100 a night, just over $100 a night. So $300 for 3 nights stay, and the next least expensive was a condo style with a hot tub on the back porch looking over the river, which was a very small, it's a Texas creek. And you were right up against your neighbors. It was just really crowded, really cramped, and those were around $200 a night. So if you're going for, you want to be family centered, you want to have a little space to yourselves, lots of great options of things that you can do, definitely go with the YMCA Rockies at Estes Park, because you will have space for yourself. There's meeting areas where you can go do a little bonfire and s'mores. There's hiking trails, there are horse rides, there's all sorts of activities. When you have slightly older kids, they have an art activity center, they have playgrounds, anything that you could think of that you might wish some sort of resort or place you're staying for a family vacation might have, they have there. And it's a quick drive into town, only like 10-15 minutes, so you're right there next to the town where you can go do the Stanley Hotel and a cute little shopping strip that's all old-timey looking and really pretty. And you're only 8 miles from the main entrance to the actual Rocky Mountain National Park on that side. So it's really well located, really well priced. I cannot say enough how much I loved staying there. It was so wonderful. Give it a shot if you are going to Estes Park, Colorado. While we were in Estes Park, because it's something you kind of have to do, we went to see the Stanley Hotel, and it's beautiful. It really is. The craftsmanship that went into the carving of the wood paneling everywhere, and they have a lodge to stay in. They have a concert hall. They still haven't done anything with the old carriage house other than storage. The Stanley Hotel has a number of different tour options. Now, of course, the Stanley Hotel is the hotel that Stephen King stayed in that inspired him, his stay inspired him to write The Shining. And a lot of ghost hunting shows go there and do, paranormal investigations and things. We just wanted to there's a 45-minute tour during the day, and that's just really a tour of the hotel itself, talking about some of the history, that sort of things. And I researched it online. I was like, let's not buy our tickets ahead of time, because if Grace is at sort of a napping point, then that might make it difficult. If she gets really fussy, we don't want to interrupt other people's tour because of that. And it turned out to be a very good thing that we didn't buy our tickets ahead of time, because as beautiful as the Stanley is, as wonderful as it is, they kind of need to update their website, because on their website there is no it was, at least before we went, there was nowhere written that there was any sort of age restriction on any of the tours. We weren't looking at the 2+ hour nighttime haunted tour. We weren't looking at the longer tour. We just wanted to do the 45-minute looking at the estate, basically. And we found out when we went down that the tours are for children 5 years up and up. So if you have someone who's under 5, you can't take them on the tour. So again, we were lucky we hadn't purchased our tickets, and she asked us, the lady was very sweet, she asked us, if we had already purchased our tickets online. I said no, we didn't. We were just going to see if there were any open slots when we came. No worries, and we just walked around the property. We didn't eat at either of the restaurants there. We just didn't get around to it. We weren't hungry when we got there. We had kind of planned on doing the tour and then eating and things like that. But one of the things that Terry and I talked about is probably once Grace is older and any other children we have are older, we'll look at actually staying at the Stanley, partially so that we have more money coming in and it's a little more affordable budget-wise. But we'd like to actually stay there, not necessarily in one of the haunted rooms, but just to stay there. It's a really nice, beautiful old hotel, and do the tours and stuff with our kids being older and able to participate and enjoy. So yeah, the Stanley Hotel was beautiful, but with the little one, it's just not practical. So if you're going to go to the Stanley Hotel, bring extra family to watch your little ones, or do it on a trip when you don't have little ones. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, when we came home, we went through Colorado and Kansas and down through Oklahoma because we wanted to visit some of my husband's family outside of Stillwater. And so we went down through Stillwater. We went to Eskimo Joe's, which is why Grace has this great shirt. And I don't think I could say enough great things about Eskimo Joe's. We've been to Stillwater a number of times throughout dating and our marriage and things like that, to visit his aunt primarily. And we'd never gone to Eskimo Joe's or either of the 2 other restaurants that are owned by the same man and fall under the same sort of themes. So we go to Eskimo Joe's, and it's it's a happening thing going on, and the wait was 45 minutes. However, they have a really great little shop that has all Eskimo Joe's merchandise right there where you're waiting, just a little bit inside. So we were able to get a magnet for our trip, magnets, and I got a shirt and Grace got a shirt, and we spent about 15-20 minutes of the wait time just looking around this little shop. And they have Eskimo Joe shirts that are, supportive of the military, that support OSU because that's in Stillwater. St. Patrick's Day, anything you can think of, they pretty much have an Eskimo Joe's shirt for it. And they just have a plethora of things. It was really cool. So we get inside, we finally get seated, and I look at the menu. I got a burger, and it was delicious, and we got the bacon cheese fries, which were delicious. But hands down, this is one of the best restaurants I have been to for a baby. It is a bit loud, so if you're baby sensitive to it being loud, bear that in mind. Also, it's a long wait. But the high chairs that he got, they're koala something high chairs, and they are phenomenal. I thought the high chairs at Whataburger were great, and these don't have a tray, but Grace was so comfortable in her high chair. She was so securely in it. It was so much better than the little wooden ones that most restaurants have that, because Grace can sit up by herself now, but she likes to wobble and she gets lazy. And I worry about her hitting her head on the back. And this had just a nice high back. It was a deep enough seat that as your child grows, they can stay in it. But it's not too big. And then they had a wonderful changing table. A wonderful changing table in the bathroom. The bathrooms were so clean and well maintained. It was a very easy to use changing table, and they actually had the covers for the changing table. They actually had the little paper slips. I keep a changing pad in her diaper bag, so I always just take that in there because I think there have been 2 changing tables that I found anywhere that actually had the changing pads available, the disposable ones. So I just always bring mine and put it on the changing table. It had a great functional strap across for Grace. It was in a bathroom stall so that if you really had to go to the bathroom as a mom too, you can strap your kid in securely and be confident that your child is secure in this changing table and then go to the bathroom. It wasn't like the other ones where you always find them broken. It seems like once a store's been there a while, they don't care if a changing table is broken or not. If it's broken, they're like, oh, whatever, you know. They don't care about the strap being functional or not. They don't care about whether or not there's more changing pads in it, instead of keeping it up and maintaining it so that, you know, the little ones are safe and it's all a good deal. So overall, we had a really great trip. Grace was fussy and so ready to come home. She's been very happy to be home. Yeah. And we had a wonderful time. We loved it. Estes Park, Colorado is definitely a wonderful place to visit. So hopefully these reviews of places that we stopped along the way are helpful to you. I don't know if all smash burgers are the same or if that just happens to be that one. So if you liked this video or any of my other videos, you know, please hit like. Let me know in the comments. I hope you found this helpful. Comment, like, go find my pages. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And as always, please hit subscribe.